of Digital Practice at NdcTech. So today we are here to talk about the most important aspect of digital transformation, and that is how do we make digital banking human. Uh, so to quickly start and jumpstart digital banking. The stage we are at it after specifically COVID scenarios, the world we live in, digital banking is transformation of the digital banking is more important than ever, and the user behavior has changed in the last 2 years. The expectations have changed drastically. So we need to understand that digital banking, although it's perceived that it's more of a self-service kind of channel. But for financial services, human touch cannot be ignored because the human touch gives comfort to the users of a financial ecosystem. So today we will specifically talk about how do we bring in the human touch without disturbing the digital experience of it. The essence of a digital experience is instant. It's anywhere, it's everywhere, it's anytime, right? So how do we bring in the human touch into it? So how do we do it? What are the main kind of pillars to it? I will touch upon the three important aspects of it, which is how do we personalize digital experiences? How do we be very transparent, authentic to the customer? Because that's very important to us, because in a digital experience, there is no physical presence of the brand itself or a bank itself. So authenticity, being transparent is very important. And the third and important, how do we engage in the digital experiences? And to do that, this does not only involve the people side of it, but how do we use the technology to bring these three important aspects in the digital banking? So first we need to understand the user expectations. So user expectations are very clear in these days, and we need to understand that. So the user is expecting that any financial institution in today's world needs to know them very well, understand them very well, and reward them. So these three aspects are the critical expectation, and these expectations are derived from the other experiences which user is now getting used to it, right? So how do we do this? So technology, with the advancement of technology, the question is, can we do these kind of digital experiences where we are able to understand the customer and reward them and personalize our product offerings according to the customer? So when we talk about humans, every human requirements are different, their aspirations are different. So in a physical world where financial systems used to operate in a brick and mortar, there was limitations of personalizing products for every customer. So we used to develop products on a segment base and stuff like that. But with technology innovations, we have to look beyond just offering mobile apps. So digital transformation, it's not about converting customer from a branch experience to an app experience. Providing app to do self-service kind of initiation from the customer itself is just a starting point for a customer. So when we look at it, we need to look at it digital banking in terms of redefining the customer journey, the user experiences altogether. So taking the first principle approach, we have to look at the journeys which we have been offering to the customers in a brick and mortar kind of architecture or a structure which we used to operate. They need to rethought of it. So customer journeys needs to be redesign. So in a customer journey, when we redesigning it, app is just a starting point of critical and important point of it. That also includes the rethought on the processes side of it also. So once we have a customer journey which used to happen on the branch itself, we want to bring that journey on the digital app itself. So we have to also think on the back office side of it. How do we improve the processes to support this new digital experience which we are trying to shift from branch to the mobile app? So process improvements, digitization of the back offices is absolutely critical. And once we say redesigning of the customer journey, it's not only of the customer's front end part of it. So it goes end to end, which involves processes also, and which involves the after transaction, which is call center and which is support also. So these three pillars needs to come in, redesigned, and be part of the new digital customer experience which we want to provide to the customers. So in terms of I will again touch upon the three important aspects which I talked about earlier, which is personalization, which is being transparent, which is engaging the customer. So let's just take an example and a use case. How do we do it, and where does the technology come in, and what aspects we use technology for, what aspects of the digital banking? So the most important thing is the personalization of the products and services to the customers. So it cannot be a bespoke approach or a segment approach anymore, right? So personalizations. So to achieve better personalization for the customers, we need to really dig in and invest in the data and analytics side of it. We need to come out of our typical approach of product development and shift it towards more on a data-driven kind of methodology, where our data analytics itself indicates and predicts the products which our customers would like to see from us, right? So the personalization aspects, the technology which enables this, it is AI and data science and analytics, right? And then when we talk about being transparent and authentic to the customer, so we have to remember that in this new digital world, we need to be very clear about what the process is, what the obligation of the customers are. So we need to be very authentic and transparent in the ways of whatever obligations of the customers might be involved, whether those are commercial obligations, whether those are the know your customer obligations, documented obligations, authenticity of the documentation. So we have to be very clear and transparent to the customers. So keeping an example is that if you have to price something, the price has to be very clear. There cannot be if and buts of that. So when customer finally decides to go for a particular product or a transaction, so the commercial aspect of that that particular experience need to be very smooth and very clear and transparent to the customer, so that he's not get any surprise after that, right? So that's very important, because in a digital world where they are doing most of the work sitting in their living rooms, they need speed also to complete that. So they do not have the time to understand what the price mechanisms are and the formulas are and the text things are. So we have to combine all that things and come up with a single price point for a customer. And if he wants, he can see the details, but that should not be a barrier to its decision, right? The third and most important thing is the engagement also. So that's very important. So because it's a 24 hours kind of, it's bank anywhere, everywhere kind of experience which we are trying to create, and those are the expectations. So we need to understand and we need to be very smart in terms of engaging the customer. So in terms of engaging the customers, there are three important aspects we need to understand. If you want to cross-sell something, if you want to market something to the customer, we need to understand and contextualize those offerings to the customer in terms of when we want to pitch this to the customer, what time we want to pitch this to the customer, on what channel we want to pitch this to the customer. So it cannot also be the product kind of approach which we are doing right now, that we build one product for most of the computer or a complete segment. So the communication or engagement of the customer, it also cannot be that we send out bulk SMSs and expect that every customer will be happy to receive bulk SMSs. So we need to understand the customer, where his preferred channels are, what are his preferred timings, and what are the highly likely timings and days and channels where he will engage with our offerings if we are going to engage him for any cross-sell items or any product which he might be interested in. So this part is right now, we do not take care of it. We are able to see that maybe this customer wants this product, we want to pitch him, and the straightforward mechanism is sending bulk SMSs, and every brand is doing that. So it's contextualizing, being smart, of engaging with the customer, where the likelihood of that customer to interact with us on that offer is absolutely critical for whatever effort. So whatever efforts we will build in intelligence, we will build in predictive analysis, we will dig into data sciences. Once we know, the important factor is that how are we engaging? Is the engagement channel also intelligent enough? The way we are doing our product development in the new digital banking experiences is important. We also need to understand that, yes, in the digital world, we want to promote self-service. We want to create experiences which customers are able to do it by themselves, by being transparent, by being simple, by being speedy. But we need also understand that there is always a requirement of a human touch, and how do we bring in? So whenever we do it, whenever we design these new digital experiences, we want to make sure that if at any stage of their customer journey, a customer wants to interact with a human, with a physical human, so he should be able to do it. That experience is not by default, but on demand. But the feature should be available. And what feature, what we can help them is, we can have video tailors available for them. We can have collaboration tools enabled with them, where we can have our agents doing live support with them, walking them through the digital experiences. So co-collaboration tools are also very important. The video tailor experiences are also in. So the support is there with a human touch, because we need to remember that we are not just a payment or account custodians for the banks. From the bank and the bankers, advising part of it, the banking advising part of it is also very important. If you look at it in our brick and mortar, the branch, why the branch manager and the branch itself plays an important part, is the advisory part of it. So the customer feels comfortable that if he's stuck, he can walk into the branch, gets a financial advice on what he wants to do. Now, that also we need to bring in on the digital experience. We cannot miss that part of it. So how do we do that? How do we do that personal advisory part of it, which customer is accustomed to with our brick and mortar and branch aspect, is by offering these kind of tools in our digital experiences, which is video, which is the co-collaboration tools built into our digital experiences, and on demand, this is available for the customer to help him out to make decisions. So that's how we say that digital banking with a human touch, So journey is designed in a self-service manner, but on demand, a human is available with the help of technology, virtually available for the customer so that he can take the advisory role. With the advent of 5G technology on our doorsteps, so the question of whether we will be able to support these video networks and bandwidth requirements, I think with the 5G technology, the future is more virtual, but more on the video content, more on the video. The technology aspect is not the barriers to any kind of human experiences which we want to bring in to complete the experience which they are used to, accustomed to in a physical environment. So in terms of moving ahead, the next question is, how do we do it? What kind of technologies are there? So in terms of it, we have been hearing the technology stack and the emerging technologies stack, which can really help this digitalization of a complete end-to-end user journey. So we have the technology available, and every technology plays their part in different aspects of the digital journey. So as I said, data analytics, data science help us personalize, contextualize our offerings. Then there are technologies like blockchain, open API, robotic process automation. This helps us to really digitalize our back offices, right? Digitize the processes in itself, so that a journey which is started magnificently on the mobile app does not get stuck. So we get out of these kind of experiences, which usually is right now where we take the request on the digital app. We used to take that before on the branches. Now we have shifted that on the mobile app, and then we very conveniently show up a message that thank you for your request, and your request is in process, and we will get back to you sooner. This doesn't change anything. This doesn't reward them instantly. This doesn't change their expectation, which is instant fulfillment of their requirement. So that's where these kind of technologies come in handy.
Interrupt you, sir. We have another session coming up, so please, I will thank you.
Okay. So at the end, so we at NDC and Temenos, with our digital and front end platform, which is called Infinity, have brought in all these technologies together to make these digital experiences more human for our clients. So we are helping our clients right now beyond just being an application kind of partner to helping them with our tools, with data science tools, with our open API stacks, with our analytics, with our data lakes, with our AI engines, to really humanize these kind of experiences, to go beyond just digitized experience to pure, true digital banking experience. So I think I will thank you everyone with this, and have a good day.
Thank you for the lovely